All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I have a special video for you guys because today I want to make a video talking about my current top 3 most undervalued projects in cryptocurrency today. Now, this isn't a video that's necessarily about coins that'll 1000x tomorrow. This is more so a video of, hey, what are those fundamentally undervalued plays out there that are quiet, nobody's really talking about, but maybe a couple months, maybe a couple years down the road could really start to gain adoption, gain notoriety, gain hype, and gain price appreciation. So folks, in this video, I'm gonna mention the top 3 cryptos on my mind today to help us achieve the goal of not getting rich quick, but hopefully maybe getting rich over a long period of time. And at the very end of this video, I'll also throw in another honorable mention. So really it's gonna be like a kind of top 4 video. But without further ado, folks, let's delve into it. So folks, my number 1 play to start off is Karora. Karora is trying to be the DeFi hub of the Kusama ecosystem. And if they are successful in achieving that goal, then folks, it is just a matter of time before I think this project gains adoption, and with adoption typically comes price appreciation, especially over the long term. They're gonna have a DEX, they're gonna have a stable coin, and they're gonna do lots of good DeFi stuff, borrowing and lending. So Karora, DeFi hub of Kusama. Kusama is kind of like the baby version of Polkadot, and Polkadot is trying to be a competitor, or at least an interoperable competitor to Ethereum and things like Cardano, Solana, and such. So I personally think this thing definitely has long-term viability, at least potentially. And in terms of price action here, folks, while this thing is very new, I do think it's very simple what's going on here. There's a clearly defined support / resistance range here, where I think if she can start to spend any kind of time above, I'd say $9.15, $9.20, then we could probably start making moves to the upside here. I'd want to see a daily candle start to close above, I'd say $9.20, somewhere around there, for me to feel confident that this thing could see bullish continuation. Now, if we start to get higher time frame candles close below $7.20, folks, then in that case I would start to get worried, because if we start to lose this base layer of support, well, hopefully 630 holds, because if that doesn't, then we can probably cough up the majority of this rally and go all the way down to the low $4 range. $4.30, 40 cents is my best guess here if we break down, but we haven't broken down yet. We're still well within our range. I'm just kind of defining the critical areas I'm looking out for of support / resistance. Let's say once we break out above 920, then I think the next major resistance range comes in at just over $11, $11.20, around that region. Once we can spend time above, I'd say 1150, then we could probably test all-time highs and enter price discovery. So that's what I'm looking out for with Karora. My number 2 most undervalued play is Hex. This has been a little bit of a personal favorite coin of mine, especially as of recent. The more I learn about Hex, the more I absolutely love it. So Hex has historically been somewhat of a controversial cryptocurrency, but one of the reasons why I'm so excited about it is because some of the controversy and some of the criticisms of Hex, the more I've looked into it over the last year, the more I don't buy the critics of Hex, and the more I think the pros to Hex will cause it to win out over the long term. Folks, the reason why I like Hex so much is because the purpose of Hex was to be the world's best store of value, to literally appreciate in value over time. That's the goal and the purpose of Hex. And the way it achieves that is through trying to incentivize token scarcity through staking, where the bigger, longer, and earlier you stake, the more interest you will earn in Hex terms. But there's a catch, where it always gets more expensive to get shares in the Hex system, which is how interest is divvied out. And so there's forever this incentive to stake early, stake the biggest, and stake the longest, because it will always get harder to earn interest in Hex terms. And what this does is it incentivizes constantly removing circulating supply, which causes the asset to become scarce and adds buying pressure, which is why the thing did an 8,000x price growth in just under 2 years. But folks, I think this is just the beginning for Hex. I think over the next few years, this is just the start. Of course, in the short term, things are highly volatile. We just had a 61% drop. And I think if we start to get any kind of higher time frame candles closing below, I'd say 21.5 cents, it will probably fall a bit further to retest 20 cents, 19 cents here. If we get any kind of higher time frame candles closing below our green trend line here, then we could probably cough up a good decent bit of a rally here, folks. And I wouldn't be surprised if we hit, maybe the 10 cent, 9 cent region. I mean, that's theoretically possible if we start to lose this green trend line, but that has not happened quite just yet. In fact, I would suspect that Hex sees a little bit of a relief rally in the short term, although of course I don't know that for sure. Now, what I would want to see with Hex to think that we're fully out of the clear, and what it would take for me to believe that Hex would test all-time highs, and our price discovery is quite simple. If we get any kind of higher time frame candle, a daily, a weekly, fully closing above 36 cents, then in that case, I would say Hex is out of the clear. But until then, we are still in a downtrend. Until then, there's still the possibility that we break down. But fundamentally speaking, over the long term, I think Hex is massively undervalued and underappreciated in this market. And I have personally been buying quite a bit of Hex here at and around 20 cents. And if we break down further and go to 10 cents, that would make me an extremely happy camper because I would be extremely excited to buy as much Hex as I possibly could at these regions. So yeah, folks, that's what Hex is. That's what I think is going on with the price action. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Without further ado, let's move on to our next pick. Folks, this is Casper Network, ticker CSPR. And I am very, very interested in this thing over the long term. Now, I want to be very honest with you guys. I do not think, well, I would be pleasantly surprised. I don't think this thing's going to be a massive performer this cycle. I mean, we're in a bull market right now, folks. I honestly think we have maybe a couple months left, and then we enter some kind of bear market, maybe in the new year is my best guess of what's going to happen in cryptocurrency. But regardless of that, long term, folks, the long term is where the most profits have always been found in crypto, paired with the least risk. So we should always be concerned about the long term in crypto because it brings the greatest profits and the least risk. And I think Casper is the kind of project that is perfect for someone with a long term mindset, because folks, what Casper is trying to do is that it's trying to carve out and be the leader in a niche that there's no clear leader in yet. Where what this thing is, without further ado, is that it's trying to be a layer 1 smart contract blockchain, very similar to Cardano, Polkadot. But you're saying, Brandon, aren't there like 5 dozen of those already out there? Why is this thing any different? Why is this thing special? And the reason why I think Casper is worth looking into is because the whole point of this project in particular is it's going after a particular niche, which is business and institutional adoption, where you can write smart contracts using legacy programming languages, where they're trying to make it easier for legacy companies to get into crypto and make smart contracts without having to learn this whole brand new coding ecosystem and language. So that is a very interesting, unique value proposition. There is no clear leader in that niche quite just yet. This thing did have a bit of a controversial launch, and so we have seen quite a massive sell-off since it first came out, which is frankly fantastic if you're a long-term investor. You could also stake this thing as well. So I personally own some Casper. I do plan on staking it and holding this thing until 2024, 2025. That's when the next most likely bull market is, in my opinion. So all these 3 plays, these are the kinds of plays I think I would have to hold until 2024, 2025 to see the kinds of returns I would like. I would have no problem doing so because I think these 3 plays are of high quality. Now, in the short term, I think 10 cents here, 10.5 cents is very critical that we hold onto as support if the bulls want to remain in charge in the short term. This green zone here, forget higher time frame candles closing below this thing. Well, folks, there is not a crazy amount of support below us until about 8.5 cents here, and we could probably go even lower than that. So it's very critical that the bulls hang on to 10 cents here. Now, what would we want to look out for if we want to see bullish continuation? Number one, I want to see higher time frame candles closing above 14 cents here, this first red box, this red zone here, and for us to see price discovery here and for the bulls to really take over. I'd want that extra bit of confirmation, and I'd say, hey, if we started getting higher time frame candles closing above 16 cents, then in that case, I think we're going to really start to make moves to the upside here, folks. So that's what I'm looking out for in the short term with price action. And yeah, those are my thoughts. And real quick here, folks, before I wrap up the video, I have one honorable mention: Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain is a Richard Hart project. Richard Hart was the founder of Hex. Now he's coming out with a brand new cryptocurrency called Pulse Chain, which is a fork of Ethereum, trying to be a better, faster, cheaper version of Ethereum. Hasn't come out yet. It's rumored to come out in the next couple months here. It's currently November 2021 at the time of recording. So folks, look, when this thing comes out, I do plan to dollar cost average my way heavily into this thing. This is not financial advice. It has not come out yet, but I just want to put this thing on your guys' radar, because as more information comes out in regards to the individual nuance of this coin and the release date, how you can buy, price action, all that kind of thing, we'll let you guys know. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, because we're trying to get rich in crypto and hopefully help other people along the way. Like and subscribe, folks. Become a VIP Discord member if you want access to our take profit strategy, our accumulation strategy for the next bull market, our long-term portfolio, that kind of thing. Link to join that is through our Patreon down in the description below. Like and subscribe. Click all the buttons. YouTube likes it when you click buttons. And until next time, folks, take care.